Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rob and I'm going to do RPG Today videos. I'm about to go on holiday in 2 days time, so I'm going to do them all in one go, and then post this, and that way I'll sort of be caught up. So without further ado, what published RPG do I wish I was playing right now? So I guess that's kind of right now as in at this current point in time rather than right this second, because right this second I just finished D&D. Zweihander. I think it's got everything I like about Symbaroum, but without the mechanics I hate about Symbaroum. So it seems like it is going to be a lot of fun. It seems really gritty and something I'll be very interested in. What RPG would I like to see published? Journey. My RPG, yep. But, can't really say that. So, I'm not really sure with this question. I don't know if it's like an RPG that, might be coming out, or like a genre or something, so I'll answer both. Trudvang Chronicles, which is something I backed on Kickstarter, can't wait for that to be published. And, what RPG would I like to see published? One about weird space, kind of Lamentations of the Flame Princess, Shadow of the Demon Lord, but space. So deadly, gritty, and like weird stuff. Morgan Grover Coffee Bean GM shit in space. How do I find out about new RPGs? OSG, Kickstarter, DriveThru RPG. 4. What RPG have I played the most since August 2016? 5e, Shadow of the Demon Lord, and Journey playtesting. 5. Symbaroum. Oh, that's the answer. What RPG cover best captures the spirit of the game? Symbaroum. I think it's just, the art in that game is just incredible, and the kind of greys and darks and the kind of the colour of that cover is super incredible. 6. You can game for every day for a week. Describe what you do. Okay, so run a game where the players play themselves, but they get teleported every night to a different setting, and have to act in a different scenario. So like they start from in the real world, and then they get transported to a fantasy realm. Then the next night the thing like somehow wormhole type thing transported to the western, then sci-fi, then and kind of go through it that way. I think that could be really fun. They're like trying to find complete goals as they go. What was your most impactful RPG session? The first session of Rise of the House was my best play or most impactful player session, because my character died about 3/4 of the way through, and I wasn't upset about it at all because it was incredible. And as a GM, it was the Iceman's Game, which was a game I never recorded, but it was kind of this world I was building at the time, and I wasn't sure which way I wanted the war to go, so I just ran a session about the aftermath of the war. Nick Dawson, Taylor, Chex, and Dan Barnes, I think, and ended up like they ended up killing deserters. Nico Dawson killed someone with a ladle. Dan Barnes' character became amazing at pouring hot liquids over people's heads to kill them. It sounds wacky, but it was really intense, and one of the most rewarding sessions. Hey, what's a good RPG for 2-hour sessions? Drop Dead. Just go find Morgan and play Drop Dead. It's amazing. 9. What's a good RPG to play for about 10 sessions? Shadow of the Demon Lord, designed for 10-session campaigns, and 5e is good for any number. Where do I go for RPG reviews? I ask the OSG quite a lot. You post, what do you guys think of this? See what people say. Also YouTube, there's a few good channels. Fistful of Dice, Tabletop Terrors, Questing Beast is a good one for kind of OSR Grognard stuff. 11. Which dead game would I like to see reborn? Spelljammer and RuneQuest. Both super fun, and Spelljammer kind of is reborn because I just played a 5e Spelljammer game. Which RPG has the most inspiring interior art? I mean, I think everyone who's doing this is going to say Symbaroum, but also Fate of the Norns, that kind of Viking reminiscent art. I love the art in that book those books so much. Fate of the Norns has some of my favourite art, and I definitely would plaster my house in that art. 13. Describe a game that changed how I play. This is one from when I first joined the OSG, maybe 2 or 3 weeks in. Absolution, which I think was written by Lloyd Collins, but Nick Dawson ran it for me. And the whole thing just blew my mind. And I was like, oh, this is what RPGs can be, not just, murder hoboing. And that, probably blew my mind. It's an amazing game. Which RPG do I like for open-ended campaign play? I really like 5e for that, obviously. Edge of the Empire as well. You can just go and go and go and explore an infinite number of stars and stuff. Really good for that. 15. Which RPG do I enjoy adapting the most? 5e because it's easy. Shadow of the Demon Lord because I'm trying to convert it to space, like I mentioned earlier. And it's very kind of fairly simple standard mechanics in Shadow of the Demon Lord, so it's quite hackable. 16. What RPG do I enjoy using as is? The Black Hack. You never need to really mess around with the Black Hack because it's so simple. You can just run with it in 5 minutes. 17. Which RPG have I owned the longest but not played? Fate. Owned Fate for years and years and years, and I've still never played it. 18. Which RPG have I played the most in my life? Pathfinder and 5e. Got too many hours of those games. 19. Which RPG features the best writing? I think 5e, just because it's just everything's so clear and simple and streamlined. Also, Fate of the Norns, just because the whole book just reads like the Prose Edda, pretty much. So it's incredible. What's my best source for out-of-print RPGs? Friendly Local Game Store. They've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these old books. It's amazing. Which RPG does the most with the least words? Black Hack, obvious, and Drop Dead. You can do anything with those systems, and they're very short. Which RPGs are the easiest for me to run? 5e. I could probably write down the entire 5e Player's Handbook at this point just from memory. So, 5e definitely. I can just, I don't need any resources or anything like that. I can just go with it. Which RPG has the most jaw-dropping layout? I actually struggle with this, but Symbaroum, I know I talk about it a lot, but I really don't like the system. But I love the character creation, but I love the how they have like a portrait of the character and then some information about them, and that just I was looking at those pictures for hours and having the information next to a massive picture and 2 on a page, quite streamlined. I really like that. A pay what you want publisher who should be charging more. This I've struggled with because there's so many, but I'm just going to take a cop-out answer and say Morgan Grover is making Drop Dead free when he could easily charge large amounts of money for it and make a ridiculous profit. So I'm just going to say him and pretend I've answered that question properly. What's the best way to thank your GM? Roleplay super intense and go really hard in the game and really go for it, and your GM will just love you forever for it. Also pizza. Which RPG provides the most useful resources? Pathfinder. Game Mastery Guide, hundreds of thousands of monsters, you know, different classes, feats, yeah, Pathfinder. Essential tools for good gaming. Players, dice maybe, but not really, and pen and paper, because you always got to make some form of notes, you know, whether it's hit points, whether it's Dan Barnes campaign notes, something to write on, I would say, and that's what you really need. 28. What film series is the biggest source of quotes in my group? James Bond. Don't really know why, we just say James Bond quotes a lot. What was the best run RPG Kickstarter I backed? Only backed one, so Trudvang Chronicles, which, you know, is really super late, but that's because they're writing like 10 or 12 or something ridiculous books at once, and if everything comes, you know, I think it's supposed to come end of August or whatever, if everything comes with its full, you know, if everything comes as advertised, and the amount of books and stuff I'll get will be incredible, plus the art in that game is beautiful, and the publishers look like they have just written so much that their fingers are now bloody stumps. 30. What is an RPG genre mashup I would most like to see? Okay. This one I actually answered wrong, so in my notes. So I think Ulfritters, which is Czechs' Viking, cybernetic Vikings on motorbikes in space. That one, I just want to play it so badly, but you couldn't get players or something, which I find offensive and ridiculous, and the OSG should look at itself in the mirror. Also, Vikings and Eldritch Horror. I was planning on doing that, calling it Yoggothheim. Never really got traction, but that as well. And finally, what do I anticipate most for gaming in 2018? My book, Journey, coming out properly. I anticipate playing a ridiculous amount of games, and I anticipate playing the ass off Trudvang Chronicles, and Spelljammer. I don't know why, but I'm definitely going to run it. But yeah, this is a really long video and is doing it wrong, and I'm not doing it properly, but I'm going on holiday and leave me alone. So yeah, bye.